How is it making toxic?
You just asked me the $1,000,000 question about toxic story and my character. Like, मेरा जवाब तो ये है कि angry young man also you angry young woman. मेरा भी मन करता है जला दो सबको.
How is it working with your brother?
I feel very grateful that he's done that for me because nobody else was going to make this film with me. Sitting and waiting for other people is a victim complex. I'm not a victim. I didn't go to Mumbai to be at the beck and call of other people's whims and fancies.
What's the next big peak that you'd love to climb after this?
Because I'm the #1 superstar of this country on OTT. Now I'd like to be the theatrical #1 female superstar. But it's true.
Do you feel this pressure of being the good girl?
It's a narrative. ज़्यादा पढ़ लिख जाओगी तो अच्छा रिश्ता नहीं मिलेगा. You know, अगर ज़्यादा उड़ो मत. I can't physically go and stop you from saying something or believing in something. But hey, you know what? I can give you my perspective, and I can show you. Sorry, but the middle finger through my work.
How is the summers?
Summers are going on. We're working in the summers. I have a release in 8 days.
Wait, of course.
Yeah, baby, do die do.
And how is that, like the pre-release? Is it much harder to be a producer?
It is much harder to be a producer. Being an actor is quite club class. We just turn up, and it's like when you do, say, a podcast. Like everything that goes behind it, you have to think. So you're also producing it, you're also hosting it, you're also thinking about it, you're also thinking about like distribution, everything.
Everything, you know, like
That's really
for me. I've always been a founder. I've always run companies, and I'm suddenly in front of the camera, and I'm like, okay, now I can't do like आगे पीछे.
And I have not in front of the camera, and now I have to be behind, and I have to be like, okay, how will all of this come together? And it's really like humbling. Humbling is the word. And also it challenges you. It helps you understand like your own mental processes, how you do things, what your blind spots are. So it's a very different kind of a learning for me.
I love that. And the fact that you're actually pushing yourself.
It matters to me. See, because like I said, like this took 4 years for us to make this movie. But what I'm really enjoying right now, like I've never released a movie on my own. So me and Saqib are releasing this film on our own. I'm learning so much about distribution, about exhibition. I'm getting to know people who actually do this as an actor. Otherwise, my job was, hey, I'm going to first learn and groom myself to be a good actor. So when I do a scene, people go like, oh, Huma did something interesting. Then I'm going to try and understand script. I'm going to understand lighting. I'm going to understand. So, you know, there's stages to it. But hey, you know what the most important step is? That when your movie releases, how do people actually end up going to watch it? Which is the distribution and exhibition. And as an actor, especially as a female actor, we are never encouraged to understand that. That's always supposed to be like the male hero's thing. But hey, the kind of movies and shows that I do, I am the hero of my story. So I have to understand it. So I'm actually, and Saqib as well, like both of us are actually, you know, trying to understand this and trying to be like, how can we make this a better experience for our audiences? How can we tell them stories that we think they'd like to watch and we would like to make and bring it to them?
How
and then also,
how is it working with your brother?
The most enjoyable and the least enjoyable thing one can do. I mean, least I'll start with first because that's just easy to sort of break down, because when you know someone so intimately and they're flesh and blood, you know, you take a lot of things for granted, and then you say a lot of things which you, maybe perhaps in a professional capacity, I would not say or he would not say, but you take those liberties with your sibling. तो एक sense of ease, comfort आ जाता है, थोड़ा सा for granted भी आ जाता है. But I do believe also that the way he has worked so hard the last couple of years working on this film, and he's not done anything else. You know, it's really remarkable and commendable, and I feel very grateful that he's done that for me, because nobody else was going to make this film with me.
Why is that?
Because it's difficult for a woman to be leading a film,
And
an action film,
a deaf
thriller,
and
a deaf and mute hit woman, and any which way women don't get the kind of budgets to do action films or thrillers. Secondly, I certainly don't get a lot of these opportunities that get offered to other people. I've said this before in multiple interviews. You know, there are opportunities I have to create for myself. There's still so many big names and banners that have never worked with me. And not that I'm going to sit and cry about it, but I've crafted my own path and my own journey. So I realized,
you never waited.
for whom? For people who are not thinking about me. Why should I think about them? See the Delhi cockiness. तुम जब मेरे बारे में नहीं सोच रहे हो, why should I think about them? मैं खुद बना लूंगी, बढ़िया है. This is the North Indian Delhi cockiness, yeah. No, but there's no other. No, I feel like sitting and waiting for other people is a victim complex. I'm not a victim. I didn't go to Mumbai to be at the beck and call of other people's whims and fancies who are not thinking about me. They don't care about me. And I do believe that I am wasting my time and talent. So I rather put it to good use. And I'll learn something along the way. For a kid who went from here, who didn't know anyone, who um, who's now, both Saqib and I are now first generation producers. I think we've done something right.
That's amazing, right? Like you have first generation entrepreneurs, so now you actually have
First generation producers. Yeah.
producers.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a big deal.
Yeah. Genius or fools, where only success is the differentiator.
No, but that's beautiful. And tell me, was it challenging, like this idea of a female assassin? Is that from an acting perspective, is that challenging role for you to execute, to play?
Very challenging. I read the script about, like I told you, 4 years back. Parvesh Sheikh and Jasmeet Three wrote the script. It was called something else then. I got the rights. I wanted to do it. Was try to set it up multiple times with different people, producers, directors. Did not happen. So that itself had its own journey. At some point, it was called something else, something else. बहुत लोग आए गए, बहुत लोग हमने कोशिश करी इसको बनाने की, नहीं हुआ. Then finally I sent it to Saqib. I said, I really want to do this, but I'm just struggling to set it up. And then he read it and he said, actually, it's actually pretty nice. What do you want to do? I said, I don't know, we have to find the right team, the right producer, the right studio for it. And then he sent it to Nachiket, our director, and who also responded extremely well. And then they got another writer on board, Gaurav Sharma, and then they started rewriting it. And then this project just took a life of its own. The character, which was not deaf and mute, became deaf and mute.
It was originally not.
It was originally not. And then many, many other things, changed. And yeah, and then we shot it, we raised money for it, and now we're releasing it.
I'm so excited to see
I'm
it.
very excited to
I'm
release it
really
as well.
The other movie, I had a picture of this that you would also produce was Double XL, right? And I know you've spoken about body shaming, about, this idea of weight being a defining feature for a woman specifically. What is the conversation around it? What made you, create a story about it?
Just our personal experiences. I feel like a woman's worth is measured on how attractive she is, and attractiveness is directly related to her weight or her skin color or multiple other attributes that one does not have any control over. And I feel like there's a lot of shaming that is involved in that, which is so unhealthy. And what it leads to is like a lot of unhealthy body image issues with younger women. And that's not cool. I feel someone older wants to do something to their face or their body, that's entirely their prerogative. But for younger people who follow actors, who follow celebrities, who follow a certain thing, there's a very unhealthy standard of beauty that is being thrust down upon them, which I feel that their minds are not fully formed and yet they are ascribing to it. And there are lots of these young influencers that are, almost talking about it very proudly, which is great. Like I said, if you have the money, you have the means, if you're a grown adult, legal, whatever you want to do, it's a free country. But I do believe that, you have to be a bit more mindful, especially when you have the power to influence young minds, and you should take that responsibility rather seriously. And again, like I said, instead of playing the victim and crying about it, ki mujhe bahut dukh hua, I'm like, you know what, I'm going to make a movie about it. And that's what, yeah.
Love it. I love I think just this of, if you're going to give it to me, I will show you as it is. I'm not going to sit and cry about it.
Because I can't physically go and stop you from saying something or believing in something. But hey, you know what? I can give you my perspective and I can show you, sorry, but the middle finger through my work. But I feel like I don't want to just be popular or famous for famous sake. I feel like popularity, fame, success has to have a certain amount of grounding, like purpose behind it. Like, what is it for? What are you famous for? What are you using this power, this privilege, this access, this whatever for? And I think about that a lot.
So, again, my team found some really fun photos of you.
Oh my God.
And They're actually damn cute.
Thank you.
And I thought I'm going to start with them.
How lovely. Let's see.
With you telling me a little bit about them.
Oh, that's a very cute picture.
Okay, where's this from?
This is, I don't know, maybe I must be 4 or something. So this picture actually, so there's me, there's Sunita Bua, and that was Saqib. So I mean, they've cut off my brother. Great job, whoever's done this. So this is in her house. She is Suni Bua or Sunita Bua. She used to be our neighbor where I was born in Green Park, and I think I was maybe a week old, and she saw me and she fell in love with me, and I fell in love with her. And my mum had a bit of a complication after I was born, so she took care of me. So she was like my South Indian mother. We lost her a few years ago to cancer, and it was quite difficult. But I think she's my mother. I mean, more than my own mother. She gave me, like, I call her my South Indian mother because, my love for South Indian food, filter coffee, everything comes from her because she literally fed me all those things when I was a baby.
That's a really cute one.
Mm.
You dressed up.
That is my first school performance. I had this whole dance performance that I had to do. And Sunita Bua's uncle, who I used to call, who was like my grandfather, he could not come from a recital. And he came back home and he made me dress up in my outfit and made me dance. So this is me excitedly performing. In fact, this outfit I have worn and gone all across Delhi, including the Lotus Temple. And I have pictures in this outfit. And I was like, how can you take me? This is so embarrassing. Yeah.
Okay, I have 2, 3 more. Choose which one you want to pick.
Oh, wow. That's promoting Gangs of Wasseypur with Manoj sir and Richa. Wow. We were in an open jeep doing Chakkar of Carter Road.
Okay,
Yeah,
tell me more about this one.
Oh, I don't know. My first film, man, Gangs of Wasseypur released, and we were promoting it, and I had no idea what I was supposed to do. And they put us on this jeep, and we just took chakkars of like Carter Road, and there was all press, and they took pictures, and I was just like, I don't know, waving to whom. Like, I had no idea what I was supposed to do. And then they're missing in this picture, but we had these gamchas. So throughout the promotion of the film, somebody from that production house decided that, the gamcha was our thing. So during all promotions, we had this pink gamcha. In fact, we went to the Cannes Film Festival and somebody gave us a gamcha there as well, which completely ruined my outfit. I want to kill whoever's decision that was, because at that time we were like, yeah, gamcha, like, represent. And now I'm just like, oh my God, like, why?
Did you realize at that point of time that this movie would be so life-changing?
No, I had no idea. I thought like it was a very regular thing for you to do your first film and that becomes a box office success and then it goes to the Cannes Film Festival. And only later I'm like, nahi, aisa hota nahi hai. It's not normal. It's like once in a lifetime kind of a situation that happens. I'm just blessed it happened with my first film.
So how was it, working with Manoj Bajpayee?
Lovely. One of our first co-stars on Gangs of Wasseypur. He was lovely. He was, of course, the big star on Gangs of Wasseypur. Everyone else was fairly new. But he was very nice, very kind. He took out time to explain things to us. I still remember one of the first things he said to me. We were promoting Gangs of Wasseypur.
In your gamcha?
In the gamcha. We were going for a radio thing. And I think Richa and I were in the car with him and he said to both of us that, enjoy this. Your first film and this feeling will never come back. And after a point, it'll just become repetitive. But this feeling is so special, so really enjoy it. I thought that was very sweet. And then, of course, he fed us really good food because we were staying in a rubbish guest house and he was staying at Ramada, fancy. And then he would call us for lunch and give us like 5-star food. So we were very thrilled. So, yeah.
So what do you think, and I'd love your take on this idea of nepotism, right? The people talk about nepotism, that you get more attention, you get more offers. But that also comes with a lot of baggage, right? There's so much expectation. So as someone who's an outsider, the flip side to that is that you have nothing to lose.
Yeah, of course. I mean, yeah, rich people problems. I'm going to sit more comfortably, put my feet up. No, of course it's tough. I think talent is extremely important and you don't last without talent for sure. But no, definitely the access and the opening of doors there's a lot of comfort and ease in that. You just have to worry about your job, which is just to act. And sometimes people don't even do that. And I think that's where I don't think anybody has a problem in somebody being born to a particular family or to a particular lineage that nobody can control. But I think what a lot of people are now finding extremely offensive is that people are not using that opportunity to improve themselves. They're not working hard. There's no intentionality between what they do. They just turn up and they land up and they behave entitled. And, they behave as if this is just something that should automatically come to them. And I think the problem is with that. I think anybody who's talented or works hard, I think people have always embraced them, and we've always the audiences have always sort of appreciated them, and they've had massive followings and massive careers. It's only when they feel there is a little bit of, I don't know, it's unfairness, unfair advantage, or just lack of preparation or lack of acknowledgement of the opportunities that come to you so easily that so many thousands and thousands of people have no access to. It's honestly just that. Anybody who works hard, I think everybody just appreciates that. And we really, we love our movie stars.
Interestingly, I sat with a Buddhist monk and asked him this question, was, do you not get angry? And I want to ask you that, do you not get angry?
Of course you get angry. I get angry all the time.
And then what do you do?
I used to be a very reactive person and perhaps when I was younger, in my teens, I was very angry and I wasn't sure what I was angry at or about. But I know I was very angry and I had a very abrasive way of approaching the world. Now I just prefer to respond. So something's really triggered me as well. I still snap. I'll be because I feel I'm still impatient. I've still not mastered that. I still feel I get very impatient, but now I prefer or I choose to respond rather than react. And there's a lot of power in that.
Have you ever, and I say this as someone who lives this every day, do you feel this pressure of being the good girl? Is that something that society, community, people ki ye to karna padega?
I've left that long back. I don't care. I don't care what you think about me. And I don't say that in a disrespectful sort of a way. I care about how I speak to you. I care about how I respond to you. I care about the fact I'm always mindful that as to the best of my ability, I'm respectful in how I'm responding to people. But beyond that, I'm not going to worry about what you think about me. I don't have the time of the day. I can't. I don't. I'd be lying if I said I think about every single person. I don't have the bandwidth. I have too much going on in my own life. So whenever I meet you, I will have a good, happy, healthy interaction. If you offend me, I will be and I'll get out and I'll probably never meet you again.
You'll cut it out.
I'll cut it out.
Okay.
I don't need it. I don't need to fix you. मैं teacher लगी हूँ. मैं क्यों सिखाऊं किसी को कुछ? ना तो मैंने किसी को सिखाने का, पढ़ाने का, सुधारने का ठेका लेके रखा है, ना मुझे इंटरेस्ट है. मेरी अपनी लाइफ सुधर जाए बहुत बड़ी बात है. Does that make any sense? And I feel like people get too upset about things that they have no control over. And I feel I'd rather get not upset. I'd rather worry about or rather do stuff about things that I can actually control, which is my own mood, which is my own life, which is my own mental state. And if I find something too toxic or too troubling or too negative, I just have to create healthier boundaries for myself. And that's honestly, that's again it's such a game changer.
And I love that. I love the word that you use is creating healthy boundaries, right? I think this ability to say no, this ability to say, hey, I'm not going to be a part of this conversation. I'm not going to be a part of this relationship. I'm not going to be a part of this work.
No?
हम obsess हो जाते हैं that, मेरी environment
मुझे ऐसे कैसे बोल दिया?
or my boss is toxic or my work is toxic without realizing कि ultimately power आपके पास है.
मुझे ऐसे कैसे बोल सकती है? How dare she? And then there will be a 20-day discussion. And I'm it's such a waste of energy. You cannot control how the other person says or feels or how they treat you or themselves. It's not in your control.
How is it in terms of being an independent woman? And how important is it to have the right partner? And what do you think the right partner what are some of the qualities you feel a right partner should have?
Okay, 3,000 word का ऐसे coming up.
Because we've talked about women.
Independent women. And what was the first part of it?
Sorry, so I think we've talked about women. We've talked about women being
Huh.
sort of role models, being the ones solving problems.
Yeah.
Right? लेकिन आज के दिन फिर भी एक independent woman is seen as a threat, right? Is
Narrative है.
seen
Narrative है.
narrative.
It's a narrative. ये भी narrative है. I know a lot of very strong, powerful, independent women, extremely thriving in their careers, extremely happy as well. It's a narrative. ज़्यादा पढ़ लिख जाओगी तो अच्छा रिश्ता नहीं मिलेगा. अगर ज़्यादा उड़ो मत, how will you adjust? These are very like core things that are sort of ingrained in women, so they are always diminishing their light and they're lesser and lesser. Don't make more than the man, he will be insecure. Abhiman type life kisko chahiye. So what are you actually telling young girls? Okay, don't be smarter than your husband. Don't make more money than him. Don't
Even
be
if you
more
make money than him, don't make him feel you're making more money than him.
So basically dim your light.
Right.
Perhaps in a lot of cases, or even about education, why do you have to study so much? If you're too educated, maybe you'll become too independent thinking, won't be able to adjust, won't. I'm like, oh my God, like that's just horrible.
And that's not okay. But I
Of
think
course
having
that's not
the right
okay.
partner who
100%.
accepts you and sort of allows you to glow.
Not just accepts you, I think somebody who's the wind beneath your wings. Accepting is just still tolerating. No, somebody has to be like, you go, girl. And I feel like that is very important. And I also feel like to be able to communicate what you're feeling and to be able to communicate what your needs are clearly. As women, again, we are told not to express our needs, or we're almost shamed for expressing our needs. Hey, I'm busy doing this. I would like you to do this because I'm overworked and stressed. Just to say that takes a lot for many women, because you're guilty saying, I'm working, maybe I should also do this and also do that. Saying,
ये
hey,
तो मेरा काम है.
हाँ, मतलब इसी gender defined role किसने बनाए? Or for example, hey, you did that and it makes me feel like I got a promotion and you didn't appreciate me and it makes me feel lesser. I would like you to be my cheerleader because I got a promotion. It would be nice to have a partner in my life who actually celebrates my wins as well. Like I would like my partner to build me up as well. It's really nice to be able to also express what you need. And I don't think enough women express that because they've been asked for generations to always be lesser and lesser and demand lesser and lesser. But it's perfectly okay to do that. And it's perfectly okay for you to make more money than the man in your life. It's perfectly okay. What's not okay for you, or what should be a non-negotiable for you if you're in a relationship with anybody in your life, where they're making you feel like you have to make yourself less, or you have to lie, hide, apologize for who you are, or or you have to just sort of, I don't know, be a version of yourself that is not fully formed.
That's not correct.
Yeah.
That's not who you are.
Yeah.
But in your relationships, you've been able to find strong partners to
Hmm.
support you.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. Yes.
And in the professional space, right, how does this pan out? Again, because, male actors are paid more.
Of course.
They are the star of this show. And, how has that been for you?
But see, a lot of the films and shows that I do now, I am the number one that I get on the call sheet, and I get paid more than everybody else because I am leading those films. And honestly, I enjoy doing those films way more than a massive blockbuster with a big hero where I'm not getting paid as much as he is. It's a different kind
This
of
was a choice that you made. This is a negotiation that you've done.
I think it just
or-
happened organically, but now I would like it to be a choice, because why would I want to do a film in which I'm not the star of the show, you are, you get paid more than me, so I'm not even making that much money. So why am I doing it? Because of a perceived idea that's how you become a star. It's like the whole patriarchal setup, like who is the guy you're getting married to, or who is the hero you're starring opposite. That is the
Does that happen?
Of
Does
course
that
it happens.
happen?
You're opposite so and so, and that is your perceived stardom is seen in relation to the heroes you're working with. I've not believed in that. I don't think I've ever chased working with superstars or heroes. I've always chased working with good scripts and directors and great setups, which is why that's the path I've taken for myself.
And again, I want to talk about this idea of performance, right? Like, will you say कि मैं आज अपने peak पे हूँ? Because I talk to a lot of people and they're like, the peak keeps increasing because today I know more than what I did earlier. So for
There's no end
you-
to this. There's no end to this. There's always another mountain to climb. There's always another valley to navigate. There's always another demon you have to circumvent. There's no end to this, and that's the beauty of life and achievement.
या मैं यहाँ तक पहुँच गई हूँ
Now
अब
what?
मेरे को next
It's like an insatiable hunger, thirst, that consumes you. And it's quite beautiful as well. Because it always helps you stay hungry, stay foolish, stay alive, stay excited, all of those things.
and the next, like, what's the next big peak that you'd love to climb after this?
I would like to be the #1 theatrical female star of this country.
Oh my God.
Because I'm the #1 superstar of this country on OTT. Now I'd like to be the theatrical #1
I
female
love
superstar.
that.
But it's
I
true.
love that. I love that. So keep making it larger, bigger, and more.
I hope I'm not coming across as egoistical. I'm only stating facts because everything I've done on OTT has been a super success. So now I'd like to replicate that success onto the theatrical All India box office number.
And also, like,
And that's a personal goal that I have set for myself.
how is it making Toxic? You know, we've seen some of the trailers. I mean, the South, of course, has gone nuts. How is
Incredible. Yash is an absolute amazing guy to work with. Superstar. There are very few people I think you end up working with or meeting, and after working with them, you actually become bigger fans of their work and how they are. And I think that is so true of Yash and how he is. And absolute pleasure. Geetu Mohandas, of course. No, I had not worked with Gangs. She's actually married to Rajiv Ravi, who was the DOP of Gangs of Wasseypur. And I met her on set because they were dating at that point in time, and she was just hanging with us. And I thought she was beautiful. She was acting then. We said hello, and I did not know then that she would end up actually directing one of the biggest movies in India, and that I would have the privilege of working with her. And this is how strange life and these little connections are.
stunning in the trailer, but what's your role?
Thank you. I can't tell you about it right now. You just asked me the $1 million question about Toxic story and my character.
It's like the fairy tale for adults.
Yeah. Fully. It's going to be an experience. So that's all I can tell you. It's going to be an absolute experience.
for you.
It's been an experience for me shooting. It's been a wonderful cast, some really strong women, a lot of camaraderie, a lot of supporting each other. And that's what I love about this shooting experience. When you work with a bunch of people who are extremely good at what they do, are extremely honest about their intentions about what they're doing, and they make everyone feel seen, safe, that everybody gets their little moment.
But a lot of the big hits in the past few years, and when I say big hits, the super mega box office killers have just very extreme levels of violence. Just everything is just at the next level of extreme. And I could see my kids, I could see my 14-year-old, my 10-year-old, they were glued to the screen. And in my head, I was like, is it because itna zyada content generation ho raha hai ki till something is taken to that level of extreme, we're not getting people's attention?
Well, let me answer it this way. Violence is extremely seductive. You can't tear yourself away from it. Has always been. It's not about today, tomorrow, yesterday, our parents' time, whatever. Violence is seductive. There's something about it, which is why I think crime movies or gangster movies, or they cut across all kind of language barriers. Having said that, I do feel because of the advent of social media, so many streaming platforms, it's just a lot of content that one is consuming right now. I also feel that the past few years, especially the post-pandemic world scenario, which we've not really fully comprehended, there's a lot of dissatisfaction, unhappiness, angst, not knowing how to channelize that has happened. And I don't think we've really processed that as a civilization. I'm not talking about just India, I'm talking about everybody. So we're trying to figure out how to sort of really
Talk about that a little bit more.
Yeah, as in I feel like, we've lived through a pandemic. There were times where you didn't know if you're going to see your loved ones or whatever. There are people who've actually lost family members. It has been very brutal, but we've not really sort of I don't know, healed from the trauma of that or the economic ramifications of that. All of these things have a conscious, subconscious effect in your mindset. And I feel like this kind of cinema that is happening is almost like a knee-jerk, this is my theory. I'm no...
That's it. Because for me, I was just like, it was just a theory.
It's just a theory.
Yeah, like इतना
गुस्सा है,
extreme,
फ्रस्ट्रेशन
इतना
है,
गुस्सा,
हाँ है,
इतना-
कहीं से तो निकल रहा है ना, कहीं से
Right.
तो कुछ तो निकल रहा है. मतलब I think it's coming from that whole thing of like, will we survive to see another day? Kind of a, I don't know, maybe it could be. It's like saying, na, post-war there's always like a lot of spending that happens because people are just like, जिंदगी ना मिलेगी दोबारा, खर्च लो, ये भी खरीद लो, वो भी खरीद लो. So I think people react and respond differently. I don't know. This is just a theory, and this is my personal theory. Like I don't even know, like, because you said I'm just having a candid sort of take at it. Having said that, so both these realities are true, that yes, violence has always been very, very hypnotic. And two, we have lived through a lot in this generation where there's so much advent of like social media and like constant things and like a pandemic and and we're grappling with how to deal with all of those things. Having said that, like I also feel that the last few years has been also like a lot of great like female forward content that is also happening. Maybe not the same level or scale because of the rigid norms of patriarchy, but it is still happening. So that is also a counter reality to that. Yeah, what the effects of that are going to be on people and their psyche is something we have to think about. I just feel the pendulum might just go to the other extreme, because that's not reality.
वही ना, like I think growing up we had हम साथ साथ है, दिल वाले दुल्हनिया ले जाएंगे. I think today
इसका मेरा जवाब तो ये है कि एंग्री यंग मैन ऑल्सो यू एंग्री यंग वुमन. स्वर्णा मूवी हमने मशीन गन, मैं भी चलाती हूँ मशीन गन, मेरा भी मन करता है जला दो सबको. Yeah.
I have one last question that's my own.
Oh,
Is if Huma had to wake up tomorrow and she's the history honor student from Gargi and there is no Gangs of Wasipur, there's no OTT platform, there's nothing. What would Huma do today?
she would. I used to have this routine in my struggling days. I used to live in a building called Sheetal Building, and my first house over there was a 2-bedroom apartment, which I got, by the way, at a dirt cheap price. That's another story for another day. But I used to stay there, and when I had no work, I used to get up in the morning. I used to try and the theater was literally like walking distance from my house. So I would try and watch the morning show because that was cheaper. So I watch all movies, but I'd watch the morning show because it was a little cheaper and that's what I could afford. So I would wake up in the morning, do breakfast or coffee, and just go straight to the theater and watch a movie, and then come back by like afternoon, like kind of a thing, by 12ish or whatever. I'd be back by 1 o'clock, and then I would come back. I would have lunch. I would read. I would work out. I would message 10 people every day. Because I had this huge insecurity that I don't live in Bombay, I don't know anyone, and I don't know how the business works. So every day I will reach out to 10 people. It doesn't have to be only looking for a job. Could be just 10 people from the movie business, and it could be like a DOP, a production designer, a casting director, an assistant director, anybody. Just to know कि कौन लोग हैं जो ये काम करते हैं इस इंडस्ट्री में,
क्या करते हैं?
क्या करते हैं, just to learn a bit more. I didn't even think of it as networking. I just wanted to just reach out to 10 people saying, I need to know who these people are. And just like, and just reach out to those 10 people, and I would go for an evening walk and meet some friends and sleep. And if I didn't have Gangs of Wasipur and I didn't have all my successes, I would wake up and do exactly that.
Oh my God. Thank you.
Mm.
Thank you so much for sharing, Uma.
Yeah.
For this hour has been amazing.
Thank you.
And
Likewise.
just so much I've
Thank
learned.
you. Likewise. You asked very interesting questions. Thank you.
Really enjoyed this.
Thank
Thank you.